hoax proofs, we'll call them. And links will be in the description.
NASA admitted that it had lost the original footage of man's first steps on the moon.
YouTube and watch A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. It contains newly discovered evidence, which is part of the missing tapes, of outtakes from the first mission to the moon, of them falsifying a shot of being halfway to the moon. We found never before seen footage of them faking part of the photography, which is in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon, which has been licensed 5 times and can only now be viewed on YouTube.
Here they discuss the fact that they have turned out the lights and have blocked out sunlight from entering the spacecraft through the other windows, as to not cause any reflected light to fall onto the spacecraft's wall in the foreground.
Okay, very good. Well, we shut out the sun coming in some of the other windows into the spacecraft, so it's looking through the number 1 window, and there isn't any reflected light.
The reason this was done is so that the truth of the matter would not be revealed. It is this. Though the federal government would have you believe that this is a view of Earth from a distance out of the spacecraft's window as it nears the moon, it is not. What they have ingeniously done is placed the camera at the back of the spacecraft and centered the lens on a circular window in the foreground, outside of which it is completely filled with the Earth in low orbit. The circumference of the window then appears to be the diameter of the Earth at a distance. As they perfected the shot, a crescent-shaped piece of black material was inset slightly into the window to create the illusion of the Earth's terminator line dividing night and day. It is uncannily convincing. During this segment, intended to be edited and played back later for the worldwide television audience, dated July 18th, 1969, Neil Armstrong condemns himself as he states that he is 130,000 miles out.
Roger, Houston, Apollo 11. Calling in from about 130,000 miles out.
Finally, the iris is opened up and you can see the real location of the camera and the very bright and near Earth out the window. Here is the slate for the 19th of July, and the same shot of trickery on the 19th of July, and then the 20th, and the same misleading shot on the 20th. Later that evening, they were said to be walking on the moon. How can this be when they were in Earth orbit only 9 hours earlier, and the moon is some 3 days' journey away?
So I took a year and I traveled across the country, and folks, I've actually posted it on YouTube. It's called Did We Go? And the challenges, Geraldo, everywhere I went, it was just amazing. Moon rocks falling in Antarctica, Neil Armstrong's silence. But I was the first to report, and you played the clip earlier tonight, that all the science data, the telemetry data was missing. Now, Geraldo, for NASA to come out and say that all the tapes were erased, I mean, it's incredible. Geraldo, this isn't just one tape. This is rooms of tape labeled Apollo 11 moon landing. Someone had to physically go and erase it. It's very challenging to try to prove we landed on the moon, and it shouldn't be challenging. That should be there. There should be plenty of evidence.
Now, in this video, he shows really in a common sense fashion, if you have a girlfriend or if you have a spouse, you realize how much hair ends up in the bathroom, ends up in the shower. Yet on the International Space Station, apparently there's no rules at all. You can be in terrible shape, still go up to the space station. You can have your hair hanging out absolutely everywhere. This is obviously fakery, and it's not even good fakery, to put it bluntly. It's so ridiculous how often you can catch these people lying, and then how often you can catch the CGI. It's just beyond pathetic. I'm going to leave links in the description so you can keep following this, but the Potter's Clay YouTube channel does a phenomenal job in my opinion, and he doesn't have enough followers. At any rate, Richie from Boston, here's just a few for all of those people that can't seem to wrap their head around it that their government lies to them. Actually, let me throw in 2 more real quick. Now, in 1986, I was what? I think, 19 years old, okay? Is that right? 67? Whatever. I never said I was a mathematician. The problem is, I remember this happening, and everybody was so broken up. But if you put just a little tiny bit of effort into it, you'll find out not only was that explosion a hoax, none of these people died. And the way you can tell that none of these people died is they're all still alive and easily identifiable. And as a matter of fact, most of them didn't even change their names. And all of them have prestigious jobs, exactly like you would suspect they would after being involved in an enormous hoax like the Columbia exploding. You see what I'm saying? The Challenger, my mistake. It's hard keeping all this stuff straight, just to tell you the truth. And I don't do very much editing. But I digress. At any rate, listen to this.
The shuttle Challenger exploded about 74 seconds after takeoff, killing all 7 astronauts inside. Or did it? It turns out that 6 of the 7 are still alive and kicking today. Ellison Onizuka claims to be his identical twin brother, Claude. Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of you guys are really good at the detective work. Look at these people. Look at their expressions. Look at the facial bone structure. It's clearly and obviously them. And that's how the elites work. They love letting us know that they pulled stuff off because there's no consequences. They can simply just smother the rumor with the media that they bought a long time ago. Moving on.
I've got an identical twin brother, Claude, too. The Challenger pilot, Mickey Smith, hasn't even bothered changing his name. He's now Professor Michael J. Smith of University of Wisconsin. Now, Krista McAuliffe was a bit of a sneaky one. She was the Challenger payload specialist, quite famous for being a teacher. It turns out during her astronaut days she was using her middle name, Krista, and now she goes by her first name, Sharon, and she's a Syracuse law professor. The Challenger commander, Francis Richard Scobie, is now Dick Scobie, which sounds like a rather unpleasant disease, the CEO of Cows in Trees Limited. Judith Resnick, the Challenger mission specialist, again hasn't even bothered changing her name. She's a professor at Yale Law. And finally, Ronald McNair, another Challenger mission specialist, claims to be his identical twin brother, Carl McNair. What are the odds?
Now look at these people. Look at the space. Look at the upside-down pyramid that forms on her forehead, and it's still right there. Look at the smile, the dimples, the nose. The same thing with this handsome fella. Look at the lazy eyes. They're right there. Look at the width between the eyebrows. It's the same thing. It's exactly like the crap they pulled in Sandy Hook where people played multiple, I'm a grieving father, but I'm also a SWAT team member. You see what I'm saying? They love jamming this in our faces because most people are too busy looking at their cell phones, paying their bills, or not raising their children. It's a busy time to be alive. Now, here's another thing that I almost forgot, and I just